Welcome back to The Edge. Google is taking out Canada's news. A little bit of help, Australia. Twitter blocking Google search, WordPress plugins allowing a full site takeover. Are you ready for GA4? Well, maybe it's a little bit late now. You're listening to News from The Edge for the week of July 3rd, 2023, here on Edge of the Web Radio.
From the Edge of the Web studios, here's what we're looking at this week.
We got it. It's off the ground. We're out the door.
It started.
Hi, this is Edge of the Web Radio. I'm your host, Aaron Sparks, owner of Site Strategics. We're covering the SEO digital marketing news of the week, separate from our weekly interview series, getting more news to you even more quickly. Check out everything over at edgeofthewebradio.com. That's edgeofthewebradio.com, where you'll see all the show notes, all the links, and much more. This is the Site Strategics digital marketing news desk of Edge of the Web. We're proud to have our company as title sponsor of this week's episode. Very proud of our team here at Site. We're growing. Again and again, we're growing. Just had a new account manager join our firm here today, so we're very proud about that. One of the top SEO companies here in our region. We're consummate learners, and that's the reason for this show. So I'll talk a little bit more about what we do at Site, but let's jump over to a few people that are waiting on me. Joining me to get some help on the news this week is the one-armed Jacob Mann, Studio Creative Director at Site Strategics.
Hello.
You're literally...
I'm in my sling. I've got my fun mouse. I love it.
Your fun mouse?
Yeah, it's a little itty-bitty mouse I hold in my hand, so I don't have to
that.
move my arm around and get in trouble with my doctor.
Why did you stand up?
So you could see the sling. Otherwise, it just looks like a guy behind a computer lying about his arm.
Okay, well, if that's how you think about me, what do you think about this guy, Morty Oberstein, head of SEO branding at Wix? Morty.
I found the email. I just forwarded it to you. The one that you didn't reply to. I found it. I forwarded it to you. I sent it to you 6 days ago.
Okay. Yes. Oh, this email with capitals as well. Holy crap. Okay, you're actually stopping the entire show.
We were talking about before how Aaron answers all of his emails like, dude, there's literally in your box.
Right.
An email. And it's an easy one. It's like a super easy
I think this triggered a particular filter I have for your emails. I won't tell you what the filter is.
You send me to spam?
Oh, no. It's worse than that. I subscribe your email to a heck of a lot of other newsletters. It'll come into your inbox quite soon. You're interrupting the entire show, Morty. And I'm not even going to ask you how you're doing, because I'm going to pivot over to our friend who just joined us on the show. This is Jess Joyce. She's an SEO consultant out of Toronto, Canada. Jess, how you doing?
Good, thanks. How are you all doing? I'm not going to ask Morty because he's taken up enough time, right?
Oh,
yeah.
It's like you're part of the team already.
She already gets it.
She really does. She really
Wow.
does.
And I've made Morty cough, so there we go. I feel success is in my future.
Well, I wonder why we have you on the show today, Jess. Well, there's a thing happening here. Let's look at our first article over at Search Engine Journal. Google removes Canada's news links in response to Online News Act Bill C-18. Google announced its decision to remove links to Canadian news from its search, news, and discover products in response to Canada's recently enacted Bill C-18. Jess, what's this all about? Seeing that you're hailing from Canada there, what in the world is happening that Google's actually removing its links out of its search index?
So to me, it's the arguments of the monopoly. So the monopoly of Google is arguing against the monopoly of the written word in Canada. There's like 3 or 4 big giant news organizations in Canada.
Right.
And there's 2 of them that are actually merging together currently. So the rich get richer in that sense, but they want more money and they're trying to squeeze more money out of things. And then on the other side of it is Google saying that we've given you all this free traffic. Look at us as wonderful people. We have given you all these free links and all this free traffic. Aren't we the best? So please keep going with that. So I don't think it's so free anymore.
No. So the C-18 legislation passed Parliament last week. The bill has been criticized by tech giants like Meta as well as Google, who say it's unfair to impose what amounts to a tax on links. So what Canada is doing is focusing on third parties like Google and charging them for content from the news organizations, right? So Some smaller outlets and experts have actually blasted the regime because they claim the bulk of the financial benefits will accrue on a handful of large media players like what you're talking about here. But all things being equal, we saw this happen in Australia. Was it last year? I think it was last year that this was all, beginning of last year.
And Spain also.
Yeah, and Google pushes back whenever there's a particular country that says, you know what, we want our publishers to have a bit of commerce coming from the content that you're curating, Google, that you're bringing into the search index without compensation. Now, Morty, I know you want to take a swing at this here. Where are we in this content curation mindset that is Google, especially with SGE right on the horizon? Where do you stand on all this, man?
So I have hot takes on this, and I'm not sure who's going to agree with me or not agree with me on this. Probably. So I'm with Jess, by the way, that they're all a bunch of bastards. It's like no one actually cares about people here. Mm-hmm. Everyone's just fighting for their own little corner of the universe. And that's it. I guess if I had to choose a side, I don't understand the web publishers a little bit. Mm-hmm. First off, I'm not saying Google's great, like, oh, so wonderful, we're giving you all the traffic, we're wonderful people. But at the end of the day, you are getting qualified leads, basically. Right. And then half the time, you have Google sending you to a page that you can't even access anyway because it's behind a paywall. And Google's like, we're cool with that. We'll do it anyway. And you're still not happy.
Okay.
You're still not cool with it. You're sending me a highly qualified lead. I'm clicking, I'm interested, I show up, and it's behind a paywall. So, like, no one actually cares about people. That's my moral of the story.
Okay.
Like,
Jess, how would you like to jump in on this?
Publishers are shooting themselves in the foot, and I'm done.
You're done?
Well,
there's much more there.
For now.
You're not done. There's probably more hot takes coming. But on this one, I agree with you, honestly, because I think that Google has given publishers a lot of leeway, and they've come up with a lot of different ways to get publishers more into search. Mm-hmm. Remember Google Web Stories? That was a big publisher thing.
Yeah,
that
the Washington Post.
Publisher. Yeah. CNN had like Google Web Stories. So like they've given people all these lead-ins to have these new ways of sharing their news. Mm-hmm. And publishers have pushed back, right? Like they're like, we need you to read the written word. So, and I agree, like as much as I love the written word too, I think the people who are going to suffer the most from this change as far as in Canada are the little guys, which is what usually always happens, right? I work for a Canadian publisher who writes Canadian news for Canadians in Canada, and they get upwards of 30 to 40% of their traffic from Google. So they are the ones who are going to hit the hardest at the end of the day.
Understood. So it's going to be a full, there's no decisions of different publishers. It's going to be a full kind of boycott of presenting Canadian news through search. Now, here's the deal. I understand where you're going there, Morty, but at the same time, we have seen ongoing encroachment from Google curating content, using it, and actually creating aggregate content from multiple sources without citation. And we also see SGE coming in like a bloody asteroid, right? Not going to be able to give nearly as many references to content because it's going to be immersive and you're going to be going through a particular buyer's journey, choose your own adventure, where the answer is going to be there at the Google platform level. And more we're seeing the answers of certain information being available and curated. So with that, news organizations are not getting nearly as much traffic as they were. The fact of the matter here is that we've got an issue with just the platform changing, and that's Google's prerogative, obviously. Yep. But we as contributors have made Google what it was, and now there's an entire pivot that's going to be happening, and Google's deciding to basically not show content from an entire part of the world. Isn't there a little bit of public service that needs to be anchored there from Google being a media, or are they actually turning into a media publishing entity by deciding what content's actually going to be available and what's not? There's a few hot takes there. Take a stab at a couple of those.
Well, which one? Okay, so a couple of things. I don't know where to start, but one is if you're talking about publishers and content and Google making sure everybody has equal share kind of thing, Google's talked about giving local publishers more exposure on the SERP, and I've really hardly seen that.
Yeah.
So like that's where I would start with that.
Okay.
If you're talking about like, you know, SGE and answers on the SERP. There's a wider problem with publishers. And you see, in my opinion, you see people or companies like, let's say, the New York Times realizing they have to move to a subscription-based platform or model,
yeah,
rather.
exactly.
Right? And in order to do that, they have to pivot their brand in a certain way. I've literally talked to the person who's responsible for their branding about this. We met at what the heck was it? Semrush's Global Marketing Day. We're on a panel together. And what they basically do is they create the incentive to subscribe by showing that, like, good news is not easy and it shouldn't really just be free. Getting it right is really hard and you got to pay for it. And that's their brand positioning.
Yeah.
And it seems to work. So just because Google maybe is answering it, or people are moving away from this, moving away from that, I'm going towards that, and you have to pivot your business model, that's not on Google necessarily.
True.
That's just kind of how people are consuming content. On the SGE thing in specific, so we actually just talked about this today on the SERPs Up podcast. We had Mike King on. We talked about, Mike King said that affiliates are going to get hit with an atomic bomb. SG is going to answer this much better.
Yep.
Blah, 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 blah. My analogy is Matlock, and we talked about it on this show. So if you don't know what Matlock is a TV show that your grandmother watched. And when you were homesick, when I was homesick, and we didn't have cables, before cable really became a thing, there was 5 channels. And after The Price is Right came on, you were stuck watching 4 different soap operas or Matlock. And you watched Matlock because there was nothing else. So Matlock had great numbers. Is that because Matlock's content was awesome and there's a huge demand for Matlock? No. It's because there's nothing else. It's the same thing with content on the web. Yes, there's a glutton of content on the web. Google's got to show 10 results. You're going to get traffic. Does that mean you really deserve that traffic and that maybe it should be winnowed down a little bit? I don't know.
Wow.
Is your
Shots
content
fired.
Matlock is the question.
Is your content Matlock? All right.
Do we have the theme song for Matlock? Can we like cue that in?
Oh, trust me.
In?
Yeah.
Bum-ba-dum.
I'm
I
sure
like
we'll cook that in there. All right.
I like Matlock. I got a picture of Andy Griffith as Matlock shirtless up in my room.
So
course you do.
is your content Matlock? Is Canadians' content Matlock? Absolutely not. So, Jess, you're on the side of the small media publishers that are going to just get raked over the coals here. And Google made their apology that because of the bill going through, they're not going to be able to actually adhere to that because it's an uncapped amount of revenue that would have to be going out to Canadian news organizations. And that's a bit of a posturing as well, because conversely, Australia also had news media bargaining code that came through. Australia's code is considered a success by the government, and it resulted in more than 30 commercial agreements and approximately $200 million in value. So there's a nice note, we'll have this in the show notes as well, from a research fellow over at Australia's Institute Centre for Responsible Technology. His name is Jordan Giao. I hope I pronounced that correctly. A message to Canada and the world from Australia: don't let Google scare you. So there was a successful pushback on this Google positioning of just removing search content, where they negotiated 30 different commercial contracts with these different news publishers. Why can't Canada do that? Is there even an allowance for that coming through?
I hope so. And my Canadian news client actually thinks that this won't go through at the 11th hour. So I think there's still room for that to happen. But I think with the mergers and acquisitions going on in Canadian news, I think it's going to be a lot of variables all going on at the same time, and everybody's going to want their piece of the cake. So it's going to be interesting to watch. I'm excited as like a watcher from the outside, but I have a lot of friends who are journalists on this other side too. And I think as SEOs, as we all are, we're all fans of the written word and we're all fans of the craft of journalism. So from the journalistic side, it's kind of heartbreaking to see that it's come down to this.
Absolutely. Well, hopefully countries can actually have this type of relationship with Google, that if it's not Matlock content, that it's actually valuable content, that there's some sort of contribution back to these news organizations, because that is the hard work, like Morty said. And Google's benefiting from that curation. Final word on this, Morty, before we move on?
I never understood why people like wanted to have their slice of cake when pie is clearly so much better than cake.
Cake's bigger. Cake has layers.
What's your favorite pie, Morty?
Cherry pie.
Cherry pie. Got it.
Yeah. Key lime pie is a close second. pineapple pie is delicious, and I know it's a weird one.
What?
Yeah, it's a weird thing. It's a New York thing.
A pineapple upside down cake is fantastic. Pineapple pie
No.
sounds very, very odd and should be ostracized.
It's combination
Yeah,
pie. It's
yeah.
cherry. It's a third cherry, a third of blueberry, and a third pineapple, and it's delicious.
Make up your bloody mind pie.
Oh,
All
I
right.
do. I choose the cherry and the pineapple. You leave the blueberry aside.
So you're wasting pie.
No. My grandfather would eat the blueberry, and I would eat the cherry and the pineapple.
So how do I make an analogy to Canadian news with that?
can we end this with a Matlock gif from like The Simpsons? I think that would be a perfect triangulation of the whole thing.
I think so. Just to finish up here, you let us know that you have 50 Canadian bands that you can rattle off. Give us a few ones that we can finish up this particular piece with.
Cool. So, big top ones of some of my faves: Our Lady Peace, Age of Electric, I'm Mother Earth, all the 3-letter bands.
Oh, you don't have to rush. You don't have to rush.
Oh, okay.
You get it?
Some
got it.
faves. Alanis Morissette, Can't Go Wrong.
Okay.
You really
she's from
can't.
Canada?
Yeah,
No.
big time. Shania Twain's on a big tour coming back.
Oh,
She's
wow.
doing the rock
Shania
and roll
Twain's
thing.
Canadian?
It's amazing.
She is
I thought
100%.
she was like
she
Texas or
She
something.
she
She's so
culturally
con-
culturally.
Wow.
Never mind.
Yeah,
like
it's
I've
not
been
just
lied to.
Nickelback. We
No.
have
not-
cultural
no.
significance.
What is the Canadian position of Nickelback? I mean, do you really own that?
I'm more of a Tragically Hip fan than I am of a Nickelback fan. So
very good.
if I have to choose sides, I'll take the hip any day, all day.
Deftly dodging that information. All right. Well, Jess, thank you so much for your contribution. And certainly, how do we track you down and follow you on the socials?
I'm on justchoice.com because Twitter's dying. So as Marty and I were talking about it a little bit earlier, if you don't go through your 600 credits and you get rate limited, I'm on justchoice.com. I'm also on the Blue Skies, the Mastodons, all of those things is Just Choice. So follow me and I'll happily follow you back.
All righty. Well, we'll put that in the show notes as well today. Thank you so much for your contribution today, Jess.
Thanks, everyone.
All right.
Bye,
Take care. Jumping into another article from Search Engine Land. Twitter, we're just talking about Twitter. Twitter didn't just block unregistered users, it blocked Google search. While Google still has access to the Twitter Firehose from Barry Schwartz, Google still has dropped over half of the Twitter URL that it actually indexed. That was shocking, to say the least, and a number of SEOs are showing how much traffic it was dropping. 32%, I think Lily Ray actually posted it at a particular point in time. Now, if you are doing site Twitter now, it's bouncing back, so those indexed URLs are coming back. They are actually repairing themselves now, but basically, Twitter, in its infinite wisdom, decided to just block any access to article content if you were not logged in. Right. So talk about gated content. Morty, any thoughts about Twitter? Jess says it's dying. Are we really needing to get off the ship again?
Bring Jess back. We're just talking about this
I
before the
know!
show.
Oh, really? Oh, yeah, we were.
She's still on the Zoom call.
Oh, she is? Get her back. Get
Oh,
her
I'm
back.
still here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Come on. That's not creepy at all, Jess.
Sorry.
Canadian stalking
It
there.
makes no sense. No, that the Zoom call makes sense. What he's doing makes no sense. What a schmuck.
Oh, yeah.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, why would you do that?
So
So
you've got
stupid.
also the credit issue that you can
The
only.
credit issue is incredible. Can we run through the logic of the credit issue?
Yeah, go for it.
I don't know, whatever the reason for the credits, you should get blue so you get more credits, right?
Right.
But then the people you're tweeting to still can't see any of the crap you're spewing because they don't have all the credits.
Or they're not
So
logged in.
what's the point of that?
Oh, gotcha. So is the credits both ways? It's not only what you're pushing
No,
in, it's also what
imagine
you're...
I'm blue
Yeah.
and you're not blue.
Mhm.
I tweet, but you can't see it because you went through your 600 credits already on Barry Schwartz's tweets.
Oh, so it's a consumption.
It's trying to get all of us to
Oh
go
my
get on
Lord.
blue. And I'm not doing it.
That's extortion.
No. Yeah. I can't see this lasting.
Mm.
Either Twitter itself will be changed forever because of it, or he'll have to go back. I don't see how. Yeah. I guess he just thinks, oh, everyone's just going to go ahead and pay.
That's a wrong
It's the
assumption right
dumbest
there.
business model.
You're
like
really
the-
bad.
The whole point of Twitter is seeing a ton of crap.
Right.
And then you spewing a ton of crap.
So Twitter fixed the problem from an SEO standpoint, and they still allowed the post to be there, but had a gated content. You must be logged in. to actually see this post. So instead of just rejecting the URLs outright from being indexed, it put something else there that was just forcing somebody to either sign up or log in or what have you. But you're saying, I didn't catch this bit, that this is a consumption credit that if I want to read your post and if I've maxed out, I will not be able to see it. I got to put another coin in the slot. Are you telling me that's the case?
Yes, the best was
you're
like
killing me.
Barry's tweet because he's got TweetDeck, so he went through 600 in like 6 seconds.
Oh my God. Oh my gosh. Wait a minute, folks. TweetDeck. Oh my God.
I mean, and like we can laugh about it, whatever. Like I'm just sharing silly tweets or news or whatever. But like last week in Indiana, we had some really
Storms.
bad weather.
Yeah.
And the National Weather Service for a long time has used Twitter both to get information out to people and also receive weather reports back in, so they have a better idea of what's going on in the ground where you are.
Got it.
And they started tweeting on Thursday of last week, like the same day that Elon did all this, like, hey, you might need to find other ways to send us information or get your information from us because we can't guarantee that you'll see our tweets or that we'll see yours. And some people are like, oh, they should have their own app for that. Like, but they shouldn't, because the whole idea was everyone already has Twitter.
Right.
And now you're just tweeting like you do normally. Like, it's not another app, another login, another thing. Like, just tweet. Like, there's a huge tree that fell down across my street here.
Right.
And then the National Weather Service can determine, like, oh, the wind must have been going this fast.
It's been used for public service announcements for a very long time.
Yeah. And because it's public, too. Like, again, you don't even, before you didn't even need an account. You could just go log into the National Weather Service page and see stuff and get your alerts. And
yeah, that's a really important point right there, Jacob, is that it's not just about consuming social media nonsense out there. There's a good deal of news and information that's coming through Twitter, and now you gotta put another coin in the slot. Yeah, that's not gonna last. That's not gonna last.
I can't think it would. It's not good.
Oh, all right. So swing back around. Hey, we are proud to have Site Strategics as title sponsor of Edge of the Web. You know what's lasted? We've lasted 19 years as a digital marketing firm here in Indianapolis, Indiana. We focus on entity SEO, technical SEO, search engine marketing, social media marketing and management, except for Twitter. I think we're going to move away from that because, I mean, if we're putting coins in the slot, we've got to pass that on to our clients. No! Web development, conversion rate optimization, and the like. We also developed a very unique omni-channel media marketing and content curation process here in the studio. So if you're interested in what we can do for you and how we can actually make your content sing with our interview methodology, let us know and give us a call over at 877-736-4932 or just go over to sitestrategics.com and you can jump in. We can have a free hour consultation with you. All right. Fourth article, I think. I got Article 3 here. I know we've gone long here, but check this one out. Ultimate member WordPress plugin vulnerabilities allow full site takeovers for WordPress. This is from Search Engine Journal from Roger Monti. There's a vulnerability in the WordPress plugin that has over 200,000 active installations, allowing full site takeover with only, quote unquote, trivial effort. All right, so I know we've got a individual here that is loving to be able to jump on WordPress, but man, this is pretty intense here. The Ultimate Member WordPress plugin enables publishers to create online communities on their websites. The plugin works by creating a frictionless process for users to sign up and a creation of user profiles and the like. It's a popular plugin, especially for membership sites. That said, it got exploited here, and it can easily be used to actually take over the entire site. Does Wix have anything like that? Any troubles like that, Morty?
It's like you're putting a bag of jelly beans in front of a diabetic. What am I supposed to do here?
I know.
No, we don't have these issues. I'm trying to remain objective on a news podcast, and I don't know how to do that. No, we don't have these issues. It's the opportunity cost of a closed platform versus open source. Everything open source is always better. No, it's not. It's an opportunity cost. The web is not simple. There's complex decisions to be made. Factor in all the things and don't get your site hacked and use Wix. Is that what you want me to say?
Absolutely. We're just going to record that and just play it back every time we've got a news break regarding WordPress plugins. It's tough.
I don't know if you put those articles in because like you think they're newsworthy, or you put them in to watch me squirm and have to have to deal with this.
There's a hell of a lot of people that listen to this podcast that are on WordPress platforms. All right, so it's always going to be a thing. But if you don't have your plugins updated, or more importantly, you don't have additional firewall protection, WordFence is out there, and they were analyzing the plugin. They determined on June 29th that the plugin manufacturer or programmer rolled out there did not work you need to be subscribing to that news feed to actually be aware of what's happening. There's a lot of bastions of protection out there to make yourself aware of plugin updates. Now, the fact of the matter is you've got to take care of your web property, and plugins are an easy way to be able to create pieces of information and functionality. But if you're relying on that, you've got to know what you're relying on. So that's my public service announcement. Or you can go with this guy who says, Wix doesn't have these problems, which they don't, right?
This is a matter of fact. It's just a factual statement.
Yes, I just threw it in there to make you squirm. All right.
Thank you.
Last article in the news roll here from Search Engine Land. Google Analytics for Readiness. Most search engine land and MarTech readers are actually slouching towards the forced adoption of GA4. And they ran a survey here, and 23% have fully adopted GA4, 50% are still learning, and 16% are yet to begin. So do we have the official call of the death of UA? Yep, if you're listening to this, it happened this past Saturday. However, there's sites that are still recording data. We'll talk about that here in a second. But are you serious that 23% have actually fully adopted GA4? I sincerely doubt that.
It's like the 23% of the world who's actually good at math.
And the
Like,
rest,
they're out
the rest
there.
of us, 92%.
As opposed to
right?
like, what is this shit? Numbers?
Yeah, what is that? Get out of the way here. I want Matlock. All right. So, yes, there's tough things ahead here, folks. And if you're navigating reporting features, you've got to jump in and see what's available for you in GA4. But if you hadn't done it, it's not that you didn't know about it. I saw some stuff. The announcement that actually came through on Google. There are people that were tweeting, and I don't know if that was tongue in cheek, but they were saying, this is the first time we're hearing about this. How can they do this to us? Come on. They've been talking for 3 years about this thing, right?
There's no bottom of the barrel to the things that people will do and say.
Oh, you better believe it.
Endless.
So get on GA4 and pay attention, because if you haven't adopted GA4, it will be automatically rolled out to your website. Get in there because there's a heck of a lot of data changing. And also start looking at Looker Studio, because that's probably going to be what you need to really make a picture here. All right. We are actually very proud to have Inlinks as a continued sponsor of Edge of the Web. Check this out. The new social media tool from Inlinks actually solves a big problem that other tools can't. Inlinks doesn't use keyword research tools to actually tell you what to talk about on social media. It actually uses your content. That's right. Inlinks starts planning a social media campaign by analyzing your current website and generating topical, relevant ideas to engage your audience and help build a valuable social media content plan. With your content driving the social posts, there are no worries about relevant call to action pages or connecting social posts to the correct page. Inlinks does that for you. Plus, if you're an agency, you can actually provide quick, relevant, actionable, and exceptional social media schedules for your clients based on their current website content. So check that out. Go over to edgeofthewebradio.com/Inlinks today, INLINKS, to claim your free Inlinks account and dive into that thing. It's pretty cool. And there's also some new news that's coming through, and we'll talk about that on our next show. They're knocking it out of the park here. So, that said, we are going long, huh? 9 minutes. All right, well, we're going along here, but we have a couple things that we still want to actually talk about in the AI front, and we'll just cursory go through this. Guess what? AI is going to be used to decipher ancient languages. That's cool, and we'll put the show notes out there. That's exactly what you should be actually using it for. AI is also going to tackle climate change, and this is from NVIDIA. I really didn't realize that they were in the business of climate change, but if you check it out, Jensen Huang presented a keynote on the topic at the Berlin Summit for the Earth Visualization Engines Initiative, and they're using AI to actually create very fast models, as well as being able to create 3 different factors that were just amazing. I wanted to bring this into the show, but I don't think I got time to, so check out the article. They're emulating the physics of a climate system using AI to explore the possible futures at lightning speed with high fidelity. So that's actually pretty darn cool. Plus, you're going to be able to visualize that data and get it in the hands of policymakers, businesses, companies, and researchers. But a couple tools that we want to tell you as well about an AI, Supertools. Got to go check out Supertools. They actually organizes hundreds of AI tools for you in one spot. No promotion there. It's just a really cool bookmarkable site. And last tool that I want to tell you here, Submagic generates captions for your videos with AI. You got to check this stuff out. If you got a video, let it run. There's a Gary Vee shot right there. Some cool captions that it'll actually create. And we all had caption transcription services, but this thing actually takes it to another degree of impact. So check that out. Again, no sponsorship there. Just want to make sure you know of the tools. Any thoughts there, Morty? You good?
Are you out of breath?
I really am. But boy, somebody packed a heck of a lot of crap into this show today.
Well, the AI stuff is crap. You're absolutely right.
All right, fine.
I'm with you.
Fine. Enough of that. But you know what's not crap? Berry Blast over at Search Engine Roundtable. Quick ones. Google Search Generative Experience shows local.
Whoa, where's the Barry music?
Oh yeah, there you go.
No time.
Do it.
No, come on.
Got to.
Okay.
How many pictures of Morty?
Berry Blast.
Google's Search Generative Experience shows local store inventory. Did you know that the new Google SGE that was launched a month ago shows nearby stores that have products in stock directly in the generative AI answer? This might not be you. He's actually saying it might not be you, but based on his early tests, Barry, he doesn't believe he's seen that before. So SGE, now if you've not experienced it, you soon will as it comes to a country near you. It's rolling through US in the Search Labs application that you can download. But some countries still are not getting it. But now it's actually showing inventory of products at certain stores. That's pretty cool. Now, you have to have that inventory available and probably in structured data and the like to be able to get that picked up. But this is a useful experience, would you say, Morty?
Oh my goodness. Goodbye other box that pushed down the organic results, also known as the local pack.
Oh my gosh, yeah, that's gone too. Yeah, it's going to keep on pushing that stuff down.
But point in order, like, this is not the first time a big box has pushed down organic results for local queries.
Yeah, that is absolutely true.
I'm just saying, there was a local pack.
It's down there. Just go look, right?
Yeah. SGE near me.
SGE near me. Another article, Google Analytics UA3 is still collecting data, but Google says not for long. You may have actually looked at your Universal Analytics and going, hey, I thought this was all going to be stopping on Saturday. But clock's still ticking on a lot of websites.
Google's screwing with us.
it's all
like, oh, it's
all
so
a big
bad.
joke.
There's hope.
Yeah, they actually made an announcement that everything has gone to GA4, but all sites have actually gone into the Universal Analytics to GA4Q. So you won't have that data for very much longer. Boy, it just sounded like a veiled threat there. It's like, oh, yeah, you got it for a little bit. When are the lights gonna get shut off? Google, come on. Anyway, last point, Google search showing 50% fewer Twitter URLs after Twitter blocked unregistered users. Some of the same content that we said in the middle of the show here.
Do you even review this stuff?
I do. I wanted to swing back around to this because it wasn't just
the same story we just covered 20 minutes ago.
But something has changed since the beginning of the show.
This is almost as bad as you having the phone number being the fax line.
Really? You're gonna finish the show with that?
I'm gonna finish on that.
Oh my!
For the audience who doesn't remember that. So if you're looking on YouTube, there's a phone number at the bottom. You can call 1-877-SEO for web. And during one episode, I literally called 1-877-SEO for web during the show.
Yep.
And I got a fax number.
Yeah, you did.
And yet you never sent a fax, Morty.
Yeah, you never did.
I don't have a fax.
You know that old phrase.
All of us have one anymore.
You know the old phrase, fax or it didn't happen.
Do you have like the good paper or you have like the thin fax paper?
We have the dot matrix paper as well as the
the
bag phone that it's plugged into.
Yep.
All right. What's factual happening this week on Twitter? I'm just going to keep on passing by here. As long as Twitter's still there, hashtag SEO chat still around, right?
I'm nervous about this one. I don't know about the reach. I don't know if people are going to have maxed out, but
Oh my gosh.
Molly Ringwald, Molly Youngblood is hosting SEO chat all about AI and SEO. Who would have thunk? So join us 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for SEO chat. Hashtag SEO chat if you haven't reached your threshold yet.
Oh gosh, you just reminded me of something. Do you remember the Seinfeld episode of only having a few sponges that you weren't sponge worthy? You're not tweet worthy. Are you going to actually decide who you're going to follow if I only have 20 tweets left? Should I actually watch Morty's tweet or not? Should I pay attention to it? See?
You don't come anyway ever. It's a moot point.
I'm always there. I am always there. I'm in the background.
Jacob participates. He shows up. He's fun. He's engaging.
Mm-hmm.
He's only got one arm, and he's still fun, engaging. He shows up.
Again, back to the beginning of the show is that I got to do some stuff.
Yeah, like answer my emails.
He's there by proxy. Now, I think I deleted your email by accident. I'm sorry. Can you forward that again to me?
He deleted
All right. Well, thanks for playing. Special thanks for Jess Joyce to come out and talk about the news out of Canada. Hopefully, Google figure this thing out. Hopefully, they all figure it out so you're not shortchanging the small media production companies out there in Canada. But thanks again for jumping on to our show here, Morty. Any final words from the head of Wix, from the head of SEO branding at Wix? Oh my gosh, the head of Wix.
Congratulations.
Wow. Dang.
Yeah.
I'm surprised he's still on the show. Any final words, sir, before we
look,
cut you
friends
off?
are friends. Who?
Nah. We're done.
What?
It's over.
Check out the Superstop podcast.
News out. That's it from The Edge this week. Check out second part of the Gemma Houghton's interview diving into international SEO. If you stayed this long, I am so sorry. This is just, we're just bouncing off the walls.
You say that every week, and
it's pathetic.
Just lean into it. This is what we do.
Hey, check it out. RateThisPodcast.com/edge today and let us know how crappy we did on this show. From all of us over The Edge, stay safe.
I think I did great.
I'll vote on that, folks. Let us know. This was not your stellar show.
Don't be a piece of cyber. Come on, let's get to it.
Don't be a piece of cyber driftwood. Later.
That was so late.